All right, everybody. Today we're going to look at finding slope and y-intercept with non-proportional linear relationships. So we're going to go over some vocabulary first. The y-intercept, that is your y-coordinate of the point where the graph intersects the y-axis. And the x-coordinate of this point is always 0. Next we have slope. In the linear equation, it's the ratio of the change in y values, the rise, for a segment of the graph, so that just means some portion of the graph, to a corresponding change in x values. So that's a rise over run. Slope-intercept form of a linear equation, we have y equals mx plus b. And then in this form, your m right here, this is your slope, and your b is your y-intercept. So if I'm given an equation, I can find my slope in this form, slope-intercept form. I can find my slope right here. It's the coefficient in front of x, and then my b is my y-intercept. So you can find the rate of change, your m, and the initial rate, or your y-intercept, the b, for a linear situation from a table of values. So my example here is, a phone salesperson is paid a minimum weekly salary and a commission for each phone sold, as shown in the table. Confirm the relationship is linear and give the constant rate of change in the initial value. So here is my table of values. And so what I did first was I looked for the change in x is on the side here, and this is my change in y. All I did was subtract. This is essentially my slope formula, y2 minus y1, and this is x2 minus x1. So I had 150 over 10, and then when I looked at my other changes, I had 150 and 10, and then I had 150 and 10. So for every 10 phones he sold, his income went up $150. So to find that constant rate of change, which we did have a constant rate of change, I had to divide the 150 divided by 10, and I have 15. Let's zoom in there a little bit. And then, so it says the rate of change is constant, it's 15, which means he's getting $15 in commission per phone that he sells. Step 2, find the initial value when 0 phones are sold. So I've filled in this right here. All I did was take these 2 points from this table here, and then I knew I needed to find when we had 0 phones sold. So I knew I took 150 away, and then so I had to subtract 150 from 480, and I got 330. So the initial value is $330. That means a salesperson's base salary, or his salary with selling 0 phones, is $330 a week. Okay, now we're going to go over some practice problems. So on this here, it says, find the slope and y-intercept of the line represented by each table. So we're looking to see our change in x and change in y. And we're going to make sure it's constant. So I'm subtracting 4 minus 2 is 2, 6 minus 4 is 2, and 8 minus 6 is 2. 32 minus 22 is 10. 42 minus 32 is 10. 52 minus 42 is 10. So we're going to have our change in y over our change in x. So we're going to have 10 divided by 2. When I divide that, I'm going to find out that my slope is 5. And then, so from here, I need to look at when x is 0, what is y? So that's going down 2. So it's the same here. I was going down 10. So I need to subtract 10 from 22, and I get 12. So our b value, or our y-intercept, is 12. This number 2, I want you to do on your own and answer that in the Edpuzzle, please. All right, now I've got a bunch of graphs. It says find the slope and y-intercept of the line in each graph. So my slope is my rise over run. So I'm going to grab, and they've already given me some points here. So I'm going to go from here down. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we went down -4. And we're going to run 1, 2. So I have -4 over 2, which is equal to -2. My y-intercept, or my b value, is where my line, my graph, crosses my y-axis, which is right here, and that is when y is 1. So I'm going to put 1. All right, I'm going to do number 3, and then I'm going to have you do 2 and 4. All right, again, let's look at our y-intercept first. It's this value right here of y when the line crosses or intersects the y-axis, and that's when y is -2. My slope is my rise over run, so I need to find another part on the graph, and I'm going to zoom in here so you can see it. I am looking where the line also goes through where my horizontal and vertical grids cross. So I'm looking where the 3 lines intersect. So that's going to be right here. If I went here, it's in between. There's only I can only see the vertical line is where it's crossing. It's not the horizontal line as well. All right, so my rise over run, make my triangle, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to run 1, 2. So my m is going to be 3 over 2, and this is as simple as it's going to get, and I'm going to leave it as an improper fraction when we're dealing with slope. So our slope is 3 over 2. All right. So now I want you to do number 2 and input your answers there. And then number 4, tell me the slope and the y-intercept. All right. Then we have a table of values. I'll do 5. It says find the slope and y-intercept of the line represented by each table. So again, we're looking for our changes, and to find the slope, it's change in y over change in x. And our y-intercept is the value of y when x is equal to 0. Well, in this table, it's giving me that. When x is 0, y is 1. That's my y-intercept. All right, now I'm going to look at these changes here. That's 2, 2, 2, 2. All right, 7 minus 1 is 6. 13 minus 7 is 6. 19 minus 13 is 6. And 25 minus 19 is 6. So my slope is going to be 6 divided by 2. When I divide that, it's 3. So my slope for number 5 is 3. And my y-intercept is 1. All right, so I want you to do number 6 and input your answers into the puzzle, please.